What up, IDS Mob? It's your boy, HarryWilmington here, back with another episode of the Introvert Dating Success Show. And today's show, man, so this guy has a question about how to manage the number of dates that he's getting from online dating. Now, this is a problem that I'm sure a lot of you wish you had. You wish you could go on a dating app and be able to get 3 to 4 dates a week, which, by the way, I can help you learn how to do if you get my program, Smart Digital Dating, which you can get at introvertdatingsuccess.com. But this guy, he wants to know how to handle it. So we're going to read through his question. I'll stop along the way and we'll answer his question. Simple as that. And by the way, if you ever have a question for one of these shows that you want answered, write to me at HarryWilmington@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment down below this video, which you can find at youtube.com/HarryWilmington if you're listening to the podcast. So let's get into this guy's question. He says, I am pretty selective when swiping, so I don't feel like I go crazy swiping right or responding to likes or comments. Even still, that seemingly reasonable amount of swiping and responding leads to matches, which lead to date requests. And I say, good for you. Because on dating apps, it can be very hard for men to be able to get anywhere near the number of matches that women get. So the fact that you're able to get enough to where you're having a problem being able to juggle these dates is actually a good thing. And we'll show you how to manage that in a second. So he says, I find myself not sure how to handle scheduling and now have a number of dates scheduled for this week and weekend. I'm very early in the dating game, so I don't want to exclude a possibility, which is, by the way, a good thing. You ideally want to take on as many dates as you can, because what's going to happen is as you go out with these women, the number of them that you actually gel with and that you're going to see yourself with in a long-term relationship is going to dwindle down significantly, all right? And as a guy, again, women typically have more, on average, have more choices than us because they always have offers coming to them, whether they see it or not. But men don't have that same amount of volume. So if you're getting a decent amount of volume, recognize that you're going to eventually have to wade through those to get to the ones that you really want to consider seeing as in a long-term thing. He says, but it also feels a little odd to have dates night after night. I've been trying not to text too much before I meet people. Great. So I really don't have any idea which dates are likely to pan out. Well, the truth of the matter is you could have a great texting situation with the woman and things gel well on text, and then you meet them in person and the conversation suddenly feels a bit off, or you realize that somehow like she was more boisterous and jovial through text, but in person, she's not really that way, okay? So you can't, texting is an okay barometer to use, but really don't rely on it, because there are also people that are absolutely horrible texters, both men and women, but get them on a date in front of people, and suddenly they're the talk of the town. They know how to make you laugh. They know how to make you feel like you're wanted and needed. So don't rely on that barometer too heavily to decide if, oh, I couldn't text with them really well, so it's going to be a bad date. I've had dates that couldn't text for crap, and then the date was absolutely fantastic once we were actually talking in person. Anyway, he says, I also know it's a numbers game, so I don't want to just put all my eggs in one date's basket and drag out the process. I'm ready to be in a relationship, and I want to be off the apps. Well, it's good that you recognize that it's a numbers game, and it's also good that you recognize that you don't need to be putting your all into one person quite yet. Again, people can make a great impression about themselves on the app when you're talking to them through messages, and then get them in person and it's not the same vibe. So you don't want to put all your hopes on, oh my God, I've been texting this person for like 3 or 4 weeks and it feels really good. And then you get in person, it's like you just wasted 3 weeks, which is also why you want to try to get women on dates as soon as possible. Again, I go over that in the program, my Smart Digital Dating program, on the kind of messages to send and how to ask for a date in a way that's going to ideally get her off the app a lot sooner than having a text-a-thon for 3 or 4 weeks and then finding out that you guys don't actually gel well in person. He asked, are there any best practices here so as not to get too overwhelmed? Do I just start unmatching or turning down dates, even if I might be interested due to scheduling constraints? Start scheduling further out? Stop swiping or responding until I process current matches and see how those play out? Treat this like a job until it pays off, which might mean multiple dates in a week. I've only dabbled with online dating after a few long-term relationships, and I often feel like I just don't understand what I'm supposed to do, how to juggle things, or general etiquette. So here's the thing, guy. Let's go through those questions bit by bit. Do I just start unmatching or turning down dates, even if I might be interested due to scheduling constraints? Start scheduling further out. So here's the thing, is that you're thinking, the part of your fear right now, what it sounds like, your fear is like, let's say you have like 8 women that are interested, right? But there's only 7 days in a week. Oh my gosh, what do you do? Are you going to hurt some woman's feelings if you turn her away? But nothing says that you have to have these dates with these women every single night. Especially if you're an introvert, it's actually going to be better for you to be able to space out these dates, because if you do not, you might go through like night 1, going on a date, night 2, going on a date. By night 3, you're starting to get burned out. And then nights 4 through 7, you're not even halfway there because you haven't had time to like sit with yourself, to analyze the previous dates you were on, and also to get some of your alone time back, because going on all these dates is taking that away, okay? So here's the thing. You don't need to feel as though if you don't schedule a date with a woman right away, or if you don't schedule a date to happen like tomorrow with her, that she's going to lose interest, okay? I have personally tested this out, whereby I'll meet a girl, I'll get her number, and I might hit her up and set a date for like a week later. Like I'll hit her up on a Tuesday saying, hey, so let's go out. I'm really busy this week, but let's go out like next Wednesday. A woman that is highly interested in getting to know you and sees potential with you will say yes to that date, whether you schedule it the next day or whether you schedule it 2 weeks out, because women that like you help you, okay? And like I tell you guys all the time, women don't come across a guy every day that seemingly they're interested in or knows what they're doing, especially on online dating, where the pickings are even slimmer for women, because yes, there's a lot of guy options on there and they're getting a lot of matches, but most of those guys aren't sending the right messages to them. They're sending like these skeevy sex messages, or they don't know how to open up a conversation. They're not asking her questions about herself. And so even though she's getting a lot of matches, the number of men that she actually feels a vibe with is surprisingly much smaller than the amount of women that you will feel a vibe with on these apps, okay? So if you're texting her and messaging her on these apps and it seems to be going well, and she's feeling that you're really that guy that she's starting to vibe with, she just wants to date. She'd like it sooner than later, but if you say, hey, I'm busy this week, but I can do something next week, and she's feeling that vibe with you, she will say yes to that. So you have to get out of your head this idea that you got to schedule a date right away in order to keep her around, okay? Again, I can assure you, women aren't having bomb conversations like that on online dating with the majority of men that she's talking to. So if she's having a bomb conversation with you, she will wait to further that conversation as long as it's going to eventually happen. So this will allow you then, let's go back to example. If you meet 8 women on these dating apps, you can schedule 3 for this week. You can schedule maybe 2 or 3 for the next week, and then schedule the last 2 for the week after that, because you're going to also start scheduling second dates with these first dates that you went on, ideally if they went well, okay? And so again, you can schedule out like that. For one, it makes you look like a busy guy, because realistically you are. 2, women will start to think like he must be spacing this out because maybe he's got other dates going on. She won't necessarily know, but she'll get the feeling that you're busy and that you're a well-wanted guy, okay? And as weird as this sounds, women typically go for guys that they know can get other women, because it indicates to her that he must know what he's doing if he's able to get all these dates. So you can't look at it as a bad thing where it's like, oh, what if I schedule a date, but then I schedule this one a week out? Will she feel some kind of way if she thinks that I'm scheduling dates with other people? She probably already assumes that you're doing that. But also, it's early on for her. She's most likely doing the same thing, or hoping that she's still open to the idea of going out with on a date with somebody else besides just you. Because in the beginning, nobody knows nothing. You don't know if you're going to gel with her, and she doesn't know if she's going to gel with you, okay? So it's perfectly fine to space these things out. It says, did I stop swiping responding until I process current matches? Well, it's at your discretion. You can decide what level of energy you want to give to it. If you have 5 dates set up and you think that's all you can handle for the time being, then stop swiping on the app. If those 5 women don't work out, the women that you're not swiping on right now, most of them will be there. Like in my travels of online dating, women will stay on there for 4, 5, 6, 7 years. So there's a good chance that any women you think you're missing out on will still be there if these 5 do not work out, okay? Now, I will say this. Your biggest concern out of all this should really be money. Because if you're taking out 5, 6, or 7 different women on these various dates, then you need to start budgeting out where your money's going, how you're spending it, and what places you're taking these women to, or what first date activities you're taking them on, so that way you can maximize the number of women you're able to take out on these dates without overspending or breaking the bank. This is why, a lot of gurus, and I've done this before too, say, oh, go to a coffee shop because you can just get coffee or tea. It doesn't cost a lot of money and you can sit down and have a conversation. But let's be honest. That's a good suggestion if you're a guy that likes to just sit there and talk without much distraction. But I found as an introverted person that it can start to get really awkward for me. So this is why I typically will do like a dinner place of some kind, or I've done dates like I live in California. I live near a beach. I can say, hey, let's meet up at a beach. We can go walk on this certain strip right here. And I know that place has, little snack places we can go to, or a place with really good appetizers, or like maybe it's some happy hour drink specials and stuff like that. But be mindful of your budget, because that's what really will start to stress you out, especially if you're not making a lot of money. Like if you're making a whole bunch of money, you can take them on dinner dates, you can do whatever. It's not going to have a problem. But if you're like this guy, where you're getting a multitude of women that are saying yes to dates, then start thinking about that, because you can't be the guy that goes on a date and is asking a woman, hey, so can you like pay for half of this, or can you pay your share or whatever? You're the one asking her out, so she's going to expect you to pay. And so you don't want to make the mistake of not pre-looking at various places that you could go to that would be healthy for your budget, all right? And there's plenty of food places you can go to also that don't cost a lot of money. Again, happy hours are a great way to be able to get some little appetizer specials and some little drinks. You should probably pay, I deal with happy hour stuff, you should pay no more than 20 or 30 bucks combined total for the entire experience, okay? But dates don't have to be expensive. I've taken women on first dates as picnic dates, walks in the park, walks on the beach, like just drives around town to see interesting, cool stuff. Scavenger hunts don't usually cost more than $5 or $10, and depending on the part of town you're going in, So think about it like that. But ultimately, you should really be focusing more on like the conversations and getting to know them to see if they're going to vibe with you, to see what their likes and dislikes are, to see, if the chemistry is there, but also if your life goals match up, okay? And so those are the main things. So as you go on these, 5 to 10 dates with these women, like I said, most of them are probably not going to get a second date. It's a good thing because you really want to narrow it down. But that means that, again, the first date is really more the get to know you. Let's see if we gel well type of date, okay? Your full effort and energy is going to really go into that second date when you're planning like some kind of activity or you're spending a little bit more time with her, okay? But all that to say, in terms of that first date, don't overstress yourself. If you can only muster up the energy to do 2 or 3 dates each week, that's fine. Spread it out. Make sure, you tell the other women, hey, I'll take you on a date next week, and then like do some sporadic messaging here and there so that way she still feels like she's in the loop. And and then just really focus on where you're going to take her. Try to have some places already planned in advance that you can take her to that are efficient for your budget. And then just focus on building that connection and seeing if there's a vibe there and seeing if you guys are going to gel well, okay? That should be your main focus. So hopefully this helps you out. And for the rest of you that want to get this guy's results where you're able to get like at least 3 or 4 dates out the week, go to my website, click on my Smart Digital Dating Program today. You can see the program. If it's something that you feel is going to be worth your time to get and that could help you out, then you can get it today. It's really that simple. So that's all I got. Hopefully this helped you out. For more of these shows, go to introvertdatingsuccess.com. You can also go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/HarryWilmington. If you want to show your support, subscribe to the YouTube channel, or you can send a monetary thank you by going to introvertdatingsuccess.com, clicking on the tip jar tab, and leaving a monetary thank you. Also go there to check out my various ebooks, audiobooks, and programs, all designed to help you date as your introverted self while still getting your precious alone time. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm Harry Wilmington, and I'll catch you guys on the next show. I'm out. Peace.